Come here now, girl.
Hello, this is Bombombi's City Skylines Asset Review. I'm Bombombi, and as always, you're very, very welcome. Well, today we've got a real mishmash of assets, all from the unique buildings perspective. And today we will start with a Grand Circus by Nisku, or something like that. Something like that seems to be a phrase I use a lot, and I'll certainly be using it again later in this episode. Well, the Grand Circus, as you can see, is a circus, and it is fairly grand. Size-wise, you're looking at 10 by 7, so it is a fairly reasonable size asset. And it's got a couple of nicely placed bits and pieces. And there are things about this that I like, and there are things about this I really don't like. And I'm going to start at the end of things that I do like. Let's start with, we've got this asset here of the truck and trailer. Yeah, that looks really good, tucked away in the back, which is exactly where you'd expect it to be parked. And then we've got the flatbeds, sorry, the containers, not flatbeds at all. And just off the ground there, but we can forgive them for that. And then you've got the caravans around the back where the performers are living. You've got a cycle rack. Never noticed one of those before. A couple of portaloos. Whether that would be enough, I don't know, but there we are. You've got hot dogs machine and popcorn stand. This little asset, little prop I do like. Certainly fits in perfectly, and it doesn't look out of place at all. And then you've got obviously the big top, which is actually not that big. You're probably not going to get that many people in that, but there we are. And then as you come around this side, you've got another one of these clown's heads, the ticket machine, another popcorn machine there. So yes, that's the that's what I'm liking about it. As you can see, that is pretty much what 90% of the asset. Of the asset. Pardon me, language is going again. I do suffer with that. Oh look, hay bales. Are they hay bales? No, they're pallets. Boxes. Still, once again, nice little touch. Like that a lot. Let's avoid these guy ropes so we don't trip over. And we go around to the front here. So anyway, that's what I'm liking. Let's pick the couple of bits that I'm not so keen on. First of all, let's go to the ticket office. And here's the ticket office. Now, obviously this is very true to form. They do use one of these large wheelie cabins as a ticket office to go in and pay your way. It looks a little bit too square for me, and the canopy over the hatch just doesn't look right. It's just a little bit blotchy. Also, where do you get come in and out? If you're in there, how do you get in and out? I'm guessing that's a door on the right there. I'm guessing, could be. Hard to tell, to be honest with you. And the wheels just look like chocolate drops. So, but that's not my biggest problem with this this asset. My bigger problem is over here. And we've got some animals in the pen here, a couple of horses. Now, the game is in pause, but trust me when I say that it would look exactly the same if I released pause. In fact, let's do that. There we go. Trees are swaying in the wind, and I'll pause it again. Only doing that so that I can keep control of my city while I'm talking about this, which isn't going to stay here. Now, these horses are to scale, but they are static. Now, there's not much he can do about this, the guy that's produced this. But these horses are they're like giant plastic works of art. Now, once you've got your city up and running and people walking past, this will just look odd. It will just seem like some sort of, it just seems really odd. And more odd would be this giant heffalump. Now, as you can see, we've got the heffalump here with his tusks and whatever. No eyes, but once again, it's not supposed to be seen at this close range, so we can forgive him that. Oh, beg your pardon, coming out of the first person mode there. But first of all, he has nobody with him. So with no trainer with him, I can't see that this wire link fence is going to hold him in place if he so wishes to go out and cause a rampage. So for me, these two animal pens didn't really need to be had. They could have done quite happily without these, and it for me ruins the asset. So everything down this in this corner and this ticket, the booking office box, they could have done a better job with the booking office and with these two pens. If they'd done that, then we could be looking at a 4-star building here. Unfortunately, these detract so much for me that I'm only giving the Grand Circus by Nisku 2 stars. Next up, we have the Rave Factory by X20 Athenerth. That's about it, I think. Anyway, let's have a quick look at this one. I've got the timer going just because we've got a nice little smoke effect coming out of an abandoned car down here. And over here, as you can see, we've got signage. We've got a trash, a little heap of trash there. Smoking car, bit of rough ground. Come around this side. Back door, loading bay, industrial type building here. Around the side, you've got a plaza, picnic area, and all in all, that looks all good. Let me stick the pause on that so that we don't get people trying to come to the Rave Factory, and then I delete it and they demolish it and they be upset. Let's have a closer look at this thing here. I'm not sure what that is supposed to be there. Not so sure. But whatever it is, it's like a billboard that's half buried into the ground. Sure, it's there for a reason. No, we come back up and out. So anyway, that's the. It's based on a New York club, I believe, from the 1990s. Hence, Rave Factory '95. And if we go back down to ground level, you can see there's some sort of like ticket office inside there. And if you look all the way through, you can see the skyscrapers in the distance from over there. Yep. So you can actually see all the way through. Now, you probably noticed there is one little glitch with this prop that is going to, this asset, which is going to have points deducted for this. And that is, here you can see a great big wall and it's like graffiti all over it. Not sure about, once again, in the middle here, you've got, could that be a big pane of glass maybe? Could be glass. Looks like it might be. But if you come over here, it appears to be, well, what can we say? You can see right the way through there. So there is a glitch with the asset that if you come down to street level, you can see through a wall. And, well, I don't know what more to say really to that. It does spoil it a little bit. And all that said, despite that glitch, this is quite nice. This would work in a downtown area, somewhere between your industrial and maybe near the railway line, a little bit rough, downbeaten area. I like it. I like it. And I'm going to give this, oh, I forgot to mention, it is size-wise, it's 8 by 8, which isn't too big. I'm going to give this a hearty 3 out of 5. So next up we have McDonald's Inspiration Rotterdam by Sven Potsdam, a 5x3 asset. Now we've had a look at some of Sven's work in the past and we will have a look at his work again in the future because he is very skilled. He does know his biscuits, he really does. This building is based on a building in Rotterdam, and if you don't know where Rotterdam is, quick Google Earth it. Google Earth it. I think you'll find it somewhere in Northern Europe, bordering the North Sea, and it's a very big port town, a huge port town, Rotterdam. But anyway, What was we saying? Yes, this building was constructed in real life to replace what was deemed to be the ugliest building in Rotterdam, and it is quite an attractive, if square, modern building. And unfortunately, we can't see through the windows because obviously. But what there is in there is a huge spiral. Sorry, pardon me. Sorry, very touchy controls. There is a spiral staircase apparently in this building, from what I've read, and apparently it's very popular. So anyway, this building it's very sleek. It's very modern. Should fit in with most modern type cities. And as there aren't that many McDonald's options on the workshop, this one fits the bill. Now, what am I going to give this? Well, you'll find this in the Unique Buildings #1 once you've downloaded it off to workshop. And I'm giving this, I'll give this a solid 3 out of 5. There's nothing wrong with it to prevent it going up to a 4. Apart from just lacks a little. Once again, you can't blame him for lacking a little because he is basing this on an existing building. But it doesn't have a wow factor, but it is very nice indeed. A very solid 3, and if there was such a thing as 3.5, we'd have that. The McDonald's Inspiration Rotterdam. Next up, we have the Musco Principe Philippe by Ben Tracker. And this building is as majestic as it is humongous. You can see it's humongous. You don't need me to tell you that it's humongous. You can see it is humongous. Look at how humongous this building is. It is a mammoth. Now, important information #1. To get this building to load, you need to have the Sub-Building Enabler mod. Now, that's really easy. You just go to the mods, you add it, you go to Content Manager, you click Activate it, and then once it's down, you can actually deactivate the mod because you only need the mod to place this building because the building is so huge. It is, wait for this, 35 by 13. 35 by 13. I'm not making these numbers up, ladies and gentlemen. This building is huge. And once again, it is based on the real building. Not only that, I have had a look on Google Images and it is the spit. It really is. They couldn't have done a better job. This is absolutely pristine beauty. And it's such a huge building, it's taking me forever to get around it. Look, still haven't got around it. And oh, up the hill, uppity up, and back round to the front. My goodness, what a building. That is huge. Now, there are no flaws with this at all. When I say flaws, I don't mean flaws that you stand on. I mean flaws as in errors, problems. The only reason why this cannot get a 5 is due to its immense size. It is just too big to be practically used in most cities. Let me come back up and you can compare this with my 120,000 population city. Look how it dwarfs everything. So based on that, I'm afraid I'm only going to give this majestic building 4 stars. And we'll finish off today's episode with this building, this beaut of a building. This is the Marina Bay Resort by Dwarf 83. Once again, this is found in the Unique Buildings Part 6 and is, well, it's not so easy to actually give the dimensions. It is 8 across. Let me come back here and show you. It is 8 across where this road is, and it juts out 4, but then obviously it goes out into the water, and the total beyond the land is about another 10. So it's approximately 8 by 14, but realistically it only takes up about 8 by 4, and the rest of it is over the water. Now, this building is beautiful. The curves are beautiful. I don't know if it's actually based on an existing building, but to be honest with you, it doesn't matter. This is a treat. We've got the pool in the middle. We've got a bit seating area by the pool. Now, if you look from this angle, you can see you got the walkover. There's grass on the top here. Now, I've mentioned that I don't like trees on the top of skyscrapers, but this is different. This is trees pretty much at ground level. I don't mind this. And then we've got the pool. You can see the main building, the main thoroughfare there, where I'm guessing there'd be restaurants and maybe a gym in there, I would imagine. This is a luxury resort, and it is beautiful, and I cannot find a single fault with it. Cannot fault it. It is a stunning building. Dwarf 83, your Marina Bay Resort, is the first asset on BonBonB's asset review to score 5 stars. Ladies and gentlemen, our first 5-star asset. You have to use this in your city. You just have to. You just can't not use something as beautiful as this. It's a stunning asset. So that's it from me today. Don't forget to comment, like and subscribe. Let me know what you think of these assets. If you found any assets on the workshop that you'd like me to review, have you actually produced your own asset? You want me to say a few words about it on next week's episode? Wednesdays now, every Wednesday, BonBonB's asset review. I've been BonBonB, and you've been very welcome.